afternoon. Welcome to Nigeria Now on Echo Television, where we keep you updated with the happenings in the country. I am Sarah Elisha. Remember, you can follow us live on Facebook and do well to drop your comment, your views on any of the situation or matters we shall be bringing to the table this afternoon. I'll be doing the program alongside Rachel Tansey. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Sarah.
All right, we have quite a number on our table. Just the way we do it here on politics, security, education, and other parts of the country and other sectors which we feel it's important we actually discuss. And we will start with the issue of insecurity, where we're seeing that another fresh attack took place in Kaduna early hours of yesterday, where about 61 persons were being captured. And then presently the IGP, even though the first thing was actually done was coming from the councillor of that local government area. We know this is just barely about 6 days after over 200 people were being kidnapped from that part of the country. And it's actually a sad one, Rachel. Within the fact that the police did not have any report as of the time where this was being reported. Rather, it was coming from the councillor of there. He said people were sleeping at the early hours of yesterday, and then this gunman just kept shooting. And if not for the interference of the army, more people would have been taken into captivity. And I know we started the conversation in the morning, why you said, why didn't the army actually were able to protect and then no victim whatsoever was taken while we having that the army. And Rachel, I would like to say that I think the problem we're having, apart from the fact that we've been hammering and we've been calling on our security agency to be open about, I just realized that we actually have very short number of staff when it comes to our security agency. You can imagine that we are having just about 200,000 army men and then protecting over 200 million Nigerians. Now you and I know that this number is very short, and the government needs to do something about that. Of course, I know early this year we had a number of recruitment in the army, in the police as well, so we can have additional hands. But in as much as we're having recruitment, other people are retiring. So that is the way things are. And I do not know what the government is going to do. Number one, we are having the fact that the army are not much. Most times, even the police do not have pre-information about these attacks until after. And I think Nigerians have always asked, why is it that we don't see security agency there until after everything is being done? Then we see security agency trying to see what they can do, the aftermath of the attack and all of that. Now, quite a number of questions coming from Nigerians, the fact that what can be done about it. Now we're seeing, just when we thought Kaduna has rest, we're seeing that they are back to that same local government. It seems they have a goal that is saved there and that they can't find it, so they're trying to take out their anger on these students that have nothing. And then I remember we're talking about, not only are we looking at secondary school, also looking at LEA schools. So that is, we're talking about even primary school. So talking about pupils of about age 5, 6, 7. So you can imagine these are kids that perhaps there are some of them that, if not because of advancement, some of them will still be wearing diapers as it is presently, because they are still under the care of their parents. I know, of course, nobody is above that, but then looking at these, I'm just imagining the trauma, the attack, and all of that these children are going through. And then yesterday, I know we started talking about what these bandits or terrorists are asking about, the 40 trillion naira, the hillocks, the motorcycles, and then other things that they are requesting. What can the government do? Because it seems as if we keep repeating ourselves, but we'll keep repeating until we see a change. And we keep saying, once the government failed to protect lives and property, to Nigerians, the government is not doing anything, whether you fix road, whether you provide food, whether you do what. When you do not protect the lives of Nigerians, who are you making the roads for? Who are you doing other infrastructures for, when there are no people to actually enjoy all of these facilities they're putting in place? And I think this really calls for proactive measures coming from the government, not just at the state level, but even down to the local government areas as well.
You know, when we started talking about this abduction, we said, I remember clearly saying that it's not about predicting or just being a negative person. It's the fact that it will happen again. And then here we are waking up to a story of more people being abducted. And I say, even a common man, you don't have to be a prophet, you don't have to be a seer, you don't have to be anything for you to know that certain things will keep happening. The simple reason is because we've said it a number of times that what needs to be done is not being done. 10 years ago will keep happening over and over, and nothing will change. And I believe that one of the major things that we have missing in our security agencies when it comes to fighting security is, of course, I'm not a security personnel. I don't know what the term or how they refer to it or how they call it, but is the active patrol, be it military, be it police, whatever security agency that is in charge of protecting lives. So I want to go with the police and the army, be it Navy, be it Air Force. Patrol in the sense that surveillance, or however the word is when it comes, however I use it, but this is where I'm coming to. We have the issue of after something happening, before security agents will be at the place because they are static. And when you are combating anything, you can't be static because the trouble will come to you. You find our policemen static in one place. So by the time something is happening a few miles away, even if it is something that they can intercept, but because they are staying in one place, before they get there, there will be casualties and victims. But imagine, rather than having a static police van, we have them patrolling. You will find that they will be seconds away from where there is danger. This is one thing we lack over the years. And it's not only short-handedness of police officers, that is also a major factor, but it's the fact that we keep doing static operations. You are staying in one place. Now the same thing for our soldiers or the army. The same way, for example, we can talk about Navy, talking about vessels, very big vessels passing undetected. It's because you are staying in one place. By nature, you are supposed to patrol. You're supposed to move forward. And even with your eyes, be able to see that vessel coming. Even if your technology will fail you, what about your own human eyes? It will not fail you. Because whether we like it or not, we are better than machines. If we do our jobs well, we created those machines, so we are better than them. If we do our jobs well, you move there, you see, and you alert, even before that time. But we stay in one place. The same thing, when a place is prone to danger, you can't stay in one place. Your enemy will close up on you because you are in one place. But imagine you know that, okay, this place now at the moment is prone to certain, rather than all of these checkpoints, our security agencies are not supposed to be static. You're supposed to move. You're supposed to be surveying. There's supposed to be surveillance. They're supposed to be patrolled in a period of time or for a specific region, so that before the attack will come and meet you where you are, you've met it where it is. And I believe that this is one of the major key things that have been missing in our security operation and how they operate. Is funding one of the reasons? We could say that for the police, we could say that for anything. But is it an excuse for us not to do the right thing? Definitely not. For a period of time, when you see that a certain problem is persisting, that's why I said we are not operating 100%. We are not. The same thing with our Air Force. You're supposed to be moving around and seeing when these people are moving. When these Boko Haram terrorists are moving in their convoy, when they are moving from one place to another, they don't move undetected. But you just sit down and you're not surveying, you're not on surveillance, you're just in one place until when they go and do something and they come back and you. So we are not operating 100%, and that's why we will keep saying, Sele, we will keep saying that if only we were doing our jobs to 100% level, some of the threats we are having won't even exist. Some of the problems we are having out there will not exist. It will not even start in the first place, and if it eventually started, took us unexpectedly, it will not even linger for as long as it has so far. But then we are in the position where we are, and that's why I keep saying it. And if we don't do the needful, if we don't tackle a problem the way it is, we will continue to see this unrest. And we won't talk even about the psychological aspect. Let's wait first and even see until you are being released before we can even talk about the trauma. Before we can, if they are not released, it becomes your life. It becomes a forced life. And now what you're dealing with, it has nothing to even do with trauma or psychology. It is a different thing entirely until you're being released before we can even think of what is their psychological strength. And you can't imagine what are they going through. Do they have the money to, do they have food to feed these children? What hell are these children going through at this moment? And you can't just imagine. I can imagine the sleepless nights for parents. And the sad part is that more of this will happen. Why? Because what will stop it from happening have not been done. So we are just we are just in a country where you don't know the next thing that can happen to you regardless of your location. We are just we are almost not existing. It might look, we are just pretending like we're okay, but nobody is okay, because it's either you be kidnapped on Kaduna Abuja Expressway. It's like that. That's it. So you might think you are safe in the city of Plateau State, but wait until you are traveling to Abuja, then you will know you are not safe, because you don't know, somebody might abduct you on the road, and it can be said for every other person. And we'll just wait and see what the government will do concerning these people that have been abducted, and eventually the future of Nigerian security.
You know, Rachel, you really said quite a lot, and very commendable, all the points you raised here. The fact that one of the issues we are having is the fact that our security are just static in one place, and rather than moving, because we know that the way these attacks are, they keep taking different faces. It might be the same thing they are doing, but you always look for a different way of doing it. So just when the whole attention of our security agency was, okay, you know what, they're going for attacks on the road, they now shifted and went back to the schools again. When people felt that Kaduna is now safe, they have now gone back there. And just like I said, or what you keep saying here is the fact that we need to have our security agency that think faster and think even more sharper than the security agents, because believe me, the way they are thinking, you tend to wonder who is the mastermind behind this, who is the person actually sponsoring all of these things. So I'm just hoping, and I'm trusting, I mean, it was here on the show we keep discussing where we see letters are being sent, and then when you send these letters over to the police, you hear that before the attack or while the attack was going on, phones were being made, and then it's either the IJ, the CP was not picking his phone call, or what. We've had those instances happen, and then when everything is being done, later you are not giving us a report or what happened. Based on how are you writing the report? You are not there when it happens, so you are writing the report based on what the people over there, the residents, are telling you. So I really think that security needs to do more. Of course, are they trying their best? They are, but believe me, we are Oliver Twist. We are still asking them to do more than what they are doing. We know that some of their lives are at risk, and then sometimes even as much as they try to plan, we always have snitch always trying to, you know, sell them out, and then before we realize that we lose some of our security agency as well as a result of all of this. So we are hoping that there will be more proactive measures. We keep saying this is an action being taken place by the terrorists, but we need the reaction coming from our leaders. What are you going to do about this? Are we going to keep recording? Tomorrow are we going to say, okay, so people were being kidnapped again? Are we going to talk about that of what say that we're still yet to recover? Broad daylight, 2 p.m. Rachel, it's expected that you see things coming, but they didn't see this coming.
Nobody was there.
Nobody actually expected that was going to happen. So we are hoping, honestly, that our leaders will do right by us, by doing the right thing and then doing all that is needed. Now let's go back to politics. I think we touched this story. I mean, this story has been taking different shapes from last week down to Monday, and then yesterday, I think that was when the climax of this whole thing, and then we're seeing that finally Senator Abdul Ningi has been given 3-month suspension after the back and forth, the uproar in the House. Some people said 12 months, others said no, 6, and then after the nay and the ayes, and they're like, okay, the ayes have a 3 months suspension was being given to him. And we recall that he came up with an allegation. He granted an interview on Saturday to the BBC Hausa, stating the fact that, I mean, you know what, there are 2 budgets here. One was the one the president gave, one is what is working, and things are not supposed to be like that, and we're seeing that he was suspended based on the fact that he did not have substantial evidence. Because I remember you made mention of that before you actually make an accusation, you need to have all your facts. You need to have consultants that will go through it and be sure that everything you are about to present is actually being vetted. And then we're seeing that he actually didn't verify it much according to the House, in as much as, you know, a number of things feel that there was a loopholes and then some things needed to be put in place. But we're seeing that he was being given 3 months suspension. We're seeing that Hora is coming out to say you shouldn't have given him 3 months suspension. Why are you suspending him in the first place? There's supposed to be all that was needed to be done. And then according to other, you know, school of thought, people felt that he wasn't really canvassing for just the issue of the two budget, but what he was talking about was the fact that some people are being given more partial treatment than others in the House, where we're seeing a particular constituency is getting more than another, and a number of people felt maybe he did not present his case well, and he just went out of context, and then now this is the outcome of all of this. But then, you know, a number of things are coming out of this whole thing, Rachel, beyond the budget, is the fact that it seems as if we're beginning to see laxity in leadership. Because if only we had leaders that are competent, leaders that are ready to do the work, we wouldn't have seen this. Now, according to him, the 3.7 trillion naira was not well labeled.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to have a well-labeled thing. Later on, we're beginning to hear that actually that 3.7 was what was given to the INEC, the legislature, and other things, and was the first charge and all of that. Now, if all of this is possibly, just possibly, if all of this were being well-labeled, we'll have a transparent budget whereby people can walk, we can say, you know what, this is how transparent it is. That Rachel should be able to have access to the budget, and so, okay, yes, I have a question here. Why is this thing not well labeled and all of that? And this is what other people are coming out to say, you know what, maybe that was the reason why he was so outspoken about this, and he even dared to say if he will be suspended, he should be suspended. But he was going to keep, you know, talking about this whole issue of the 2024 budget, and then various money that were given to either some constituencies and others did not get equal treatment as well.
If it's constituency allowance, it shouldn't be a problem if it was rightly done. I believe that is a problem that should be looked into. Everybody knows what a constituency should get. So if an alarm is being raised that some constituency some senators are being favored, then that should be looked into. It should be, because it's like we know how allocations are being done. Then imagine tomorrow we just wake up, maybe because Governor Mutfwang has a good pally with President Tinubu or whoever is in charge of the FAAC, and then tomorrow we wake up and we see all of a sudden, for instance, Plateau State is getting a higher allocation than the percentage they're supposed to get as compared to a state like Lagos, for example, or Kano, or all the states we know that do get better
allocations.
It will raise
an eyebrow.
It will, and then question marks also. So when it comes to senators getting more higher constituency, because of it should be looked into, because everybody knows, they know, all of them know what this constituency is supposed to get. So by the time the difference become alarming, and then if someone is raising it, then it is a problem. This cannot be swept under the carpet. Nothing like more favorable or constituency. No, we all know what every state is supposed to get. If tomorrow we start seeing that one state is being favored for no reason, then that becomes a problem. At the same time, I believe that there's no one senator there that is not an intelligent person. No, even if you are part of the minority, it doesn't matter. Every single senator in the House is intelligent, and that is why they are there. You are able to win the heart of people. You gave manifestos, you gave agendas, you gave all what you're going to do. You are highly intellectual, maybe not highly, but I mean, you went to school, you are intelligent and all of that. Why I'm saying this is that I don't want to believe that Senator Nengi didn't know what he was saying, or it was out of context. What he said is what he said. You know, when we want to just back somebody, Nigerians coming out to say, maybe this is what he meant. No, he's not a child. He's not in his gibberish stage of talking where a child is trying to say cup, but then he pronounced it as plate. and then you as a mother understand, okay, he's referring to a plate or something like that. No. If he is talking about the budget and saying there is a missing 3.7 trillion, that's what he means. Constituency allowance and budget padding is not the same thing. So there's no how someone can mix them up. There's no how someone can mix them up. This is what he's talking about, and it is what it is. Now, and why I'm also nailing the fact that I believe that he's intelligent is that, you know, you can't just come with words and say this is and that is. It's your word against every other person. And you know that you cannot win with just word of mouth. You are supposed to come with your proof, with your evidence, and say, this is the copy of the budget that I have. First of all, every senator is supposed to have the copy of the budget. How did you review it? How did you review it? Now, this shows us that our politicians are playing with us in this country, Sele. How did you review it? Whether he was present or absent, a copy is supposed to be given to every senator. Because I want to believe that the review session was, let's flip to page 1. Okay, on page 1, there is this breakdown education, and this we go through 5 billion, this giving to. Let's flip to page 2. That is how budget is supposed to be. Everybody is supposed to have their copy at a session. And you go home, you scrutinize it the more, and you come back. So where is his copy, first of all? He's supposed to have the copy of the budget.
He did have it.
So when you have your copy and you say, okay, this was out and this out, my own total of what you have given me as the budget is showing 25 trillion. But what you said you're passing into bill is 28.7 trillion. I don't understand. It would have been much better. But that wasn't how it played. It's just. And why would you not challenge the Senate, your house, first before having an interview? It doesn't work that way. The news should not break that there is budget padding from an interview, rather from a session in the House. That is where it should come up. So when you look at all of these things, you just find that, okay, even if there is iota of truth coming from Senator Abdul, he didn't go about it the right way, and he should know better that in the end, it will lead to just his suspension, and it might look like he is just being silenced. It could be, and it looks like he's being silenced. But at the same time, if he wanted to be heard, he could have done it in the way that no one can silence him. And I believe that that is where he didn't get it right. For whatsoever reason, that is where he didn't get it right. If you want to be heard, there's a way that you will make sure they hear you and nobody can shut you up. But when you do it in a way that you will be silenced, then in the end, it's you to still blame for how things ended up playing out. But at the same time, I mean, I know he resigned from, so that it won't look like it's for the Northern Senators Forum.
Yeah.
It's important that he do resign, so that it won't, because you're the chair, you're the lead, so it looks like you are speaking for the rest. So him stepping down shows that, okay, you know what, I'm alone, I'm not speaking for everybody. It's important he did that. But then I want to say that he shouldn't be, if he should stand on his ground, and then there's a better way to go about it. He should see the mistake where he didn't get it right and do the needful, because if there is a budget padding, we need to go through it, because Nigerians need to know that the 10th Assembly want the best for them, because so far so good. They are not pleasing us. They are not. The senators are not doing much. The president is out there trying his best, and I don't see anything coming from the 10th Senate Assembly so far so good. They are more worried about their stomach and their pocket than the common Nigerian. So far so good. I've not seen them doing anything significant, and I just hope that with this coming out, it just keeps proving that perhaps this is what we have as senators. So let's just see how these things go on.
You know, a number of people have also questioned the fact that, I mean, even the 2024 budget was being passed in a hurry. There was no the way we know the way they do take time to actually review it, process it, follow the due process of everything before it was being passed. And I remember Senator one of the senators was stating the fact that they did that because they needed to catch up with the January till December budget so that nothing will be left out. Now, just like we made mention, I mean, the House really needs to prove to Nigerians that they have their interest, because over the years, the Senate in particular have lost the respect of Nigeria. Most Nigerians believe, even in the House of Reps, than in the House of Senate, than the Senate. So it seems as if it's because of the way the House of Reps were able to present themselves, and they're beginning to get the respect from Nigeria. So I think the Red Chamber needs to also do and get things right. Just like you said, there are due process for everything. You're supposed to meet the Senate President first and foremost. I need clarification in all of these things. And then if there's a need for further this, and then you go down to the press. And so that was a question, the fact that the press got it first. But nevertheless, I think this is a question that we really need the House to actually fix their act together, because starting from the 9th Assembly down to the 10th Assembly, we're beginning to question them, Nigerians actually having questions to ask them. So we hope that eventually the integrity of the parliament is very important to Nigerians, and if they really want to maintain their integrity, because that should be their watchword, to be people and men of honor. You cannot, because you're honorable and what you do is not honorable. I think that is where the question Nigerians have. So we hope that next time, or hopefully we get to see them fixing and doing the right thing by Nigerians, and also making sure that the parliament is a hollow house as they are being known for. Well, thank you so much, Rachel, for doing this with me. Thank you to our viewers. Thank you also to all the production crew for making this program a success. Until we come your way tomorrow, do have a great day ahead.